There we go.
I always forget to do that, and I go dig, click, and then I put the thing in. But I think it adds a bit more to us. Hey everybody out there, and hey, hello to everybody who's joining us from Instagram and Twitter as well. So, and I think it's Twitch now as well as everywhere else we're going out. So nice to see everybody. Look who's back! The real Slim Shady. I've been wondering why we haven't heard from him and seen him on the show, and he goes, "You didn't send me the links," and I completely forgot. Do you
What?
I can't remember. Are you back at work, or is you back?
No, that's still screwed.
Right. I thought you were at work, so I will make sure you get the links each week now. So anyway, and as you can see, if you look behind him, you can see a big fucking alien behind him. So that's good.
And a Predator and a Godzilla and a Yeti and a Bigfoot.
You got a Predator there. What? Jimmy Savile. And of course, we have a very snotty and ill Mr. Wayne there. Hello, Mr. Wayne.
Hello. Sorry, I'm a little bit sidetracked. I'm Pawn Patrol again, I'm afraid.
Oh, no, that wasn't what just came up, was it?
Yeah, Patty Mora. She's just been banned and blocked from the group.
Patty Mora. Hang on.
I wish I could see the messages.
Well, there.
Is that Instagram that happened to?
They've tried to put this on the actual wall. They've tried to put this on the wall. So let's just get rid of that.
Yeah, she's gone.
Can't make. Right.
Done and dusted. It's now been removed.
I've never seen any of that on the Facebook.
We had a couple come in earlier on the chat feed, and we had to get rid of that pretty quickly. And now someone's tried posting it on the actual group, not realising that we do post approval. Oops.
You got it nowadays.
Yeah. Just for you naughty buggers out there, don't get me wrong, nobody minds a bit of porn every now and again. I didn't wear this handout in the slightest when I was a teenager. But stop trying to post it on our walls and in our chat, because we're not going to get it through. I mean, we talk about loads of stuff, and we're an 18+ site, but no, we're not having porn on there. Or even to go and get yourself a bit of a shag. No.
But you see, the problem is this is what I do 24/7. So whenever something like that comes in, I'm usually on it pretty quickly. So
he was talking about porn and said the word "come."
You're wasting your time trying to put it on there. We have plenty of people that are quite happy to tell us that it's there, and we get it removed, and you will be blocked straight away.
Yeah. So, hi everybody. Hi Lorna, Andy, Roger, Von, Gary, Andy, everybody. Hey, hey babes. Hey people.
Hey babes.
Yeah, sorry, we got people in from all over.
Hey, everyone.
On every format here. We've got Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. What else? I can't even see what that is. It's the purple thing, but that's on there as well. So yeah, nice one. Oh, and Twitter. We're doing something.
Before we go into subject, can I wish Scott Lee Bowers' friends and family and Cliff Jones's friends and family all our best, and our thoughts and wishes are with you all. Obviously, those of you that don't know, Scott Lee Bower and Cliff Jones both passed away at the weekend. So it's a bit of a sad moment for the paranormal community. And Cliff himself has been on quite a few of our shows in the chat room and said hello. Yeah. So he's going to be dearly missed.
So yeah, exactly. As I always say to everybody when I send the messages, big hugs. And big hugs of us all here. So yeah, such a shame. But the only thing I could say is with the stuff he used to talk about and investigate and everything, he's up there. He's on the other side going, "Fucking told you." So yeah, they're going, "I told you." So yeah. So how have you been down there over across the pond?
All right. I mean, kind of isolated with what happened with me, but yeah, it's been kind of crazy. Just the whole Trump getting fined. I'm sure you heard about that, and the truckers retaliating. And then we have the whole situation with the border, which has been really out of control.
Do tell us. Go on, tell us more. Because I've been looking for the UFO stuff. I haven't been looking for the border stuff. What's going on?
The Texas National Guard decided to take over Border Patrol and refused to let Border Patrol in or the federal government. And yeah, so a bunch of other National Guard units have came and are helping them, and yeah. They really can't find anything else about it, so I'm sure it's probably heating up.
Because I saw something about another civil war coming to America or something like that, and I wondered what they were on about and what they were talking about.
Yeah, because wasn't it that Biden gave them a deadline to cease what they were doing, and they said up yours.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then something like 26 other states all agreed with what was going on and said, yeah, we agree with them, so up yours, Biden.
Yeah.
And it sort of made him shoot himself in the foot, really.
And then the National Guard came in and literally kicked the Border Patrol out.
See ya.
Yeah. Like they rolled up with tanks and stuff.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to get through that Border Patrol somehow.
Was it like over here? I mean, our Bobberman over here are a complete bunch of wankers who let everybody.
Yeah. It kind of was a lot like what happened with Germany last year too. It's literally like men just putting up razor wire and other men coming and ripping it down and then putting it back up, and situation.
Oh, dude. It's amazing how much that can change people's minds and how to do stuff, isn't it? Until people say, "Do you know what? I've had enough of this."
Oh, what we have endless money, since the situation with Ukraine, clearly.
Yeah.
We can just keep printing it.
One of the things, yeah, exactly. One of the things I was going to mention on tonight's show was all this going on with Russia. And I've seen a lot of people putting up panic bullshit posts saying there's going to be World War III. Stop worrying about it. Stop thinking there's going to be World War III. It's not going to happen because every single side knows there is no winner in a thermonuclear war. No one would win because no one would survive. There will not be a nuclear war. There might be a war with guns and shit, but there wouldn't be a nuclear war. And I really don't think there's going to be a war with Russia because at the end of the day, the only reason Russia kicked off was because they were mugged off by NATO who reneged on promises they made to Russia. And that's why he started doing what he's doing now. I am not backing Russia. I'm not agreeing with what he's done. He shouldn't have invaded. But NATO went back on what they promised him, and that's why he went, you know what, fuck you, I'm going to do this anyway.
It wasn't just the NATO promise.
Yeah.
It was also with the Donbass region wanting to be independent and go back to Russia.
And that's part of Ukraine.
And they said, well, yeah, okay, but for now we'll let you self-govern. But they didn't want to. They wanted to be a part of Russia, and so they kicked off because they weren't being allowed to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
So it's all right turning around to people and saying, right, okay, you can self-govern, but we're not letting you go back to Russia. And they've turned around and said, but if we want to self-govern, that's what we want to do. And then the NATO bit came in, and that made it worse. Because it all happened back in 2014.
To jump back to the Texas situation, I don't know if you guys heard this, but Putin actually offered to send ammunition and troops to Texas. It was like, see how it feels.
What, to the National Guard?
Yes. If they want to, if they want to secede from the United States, Putin said he will come and supply and
do
in the same way the U.S. has been doing to Ukraine.
Yeah. Do
Kalashnikov bullets work in American rifles?
No,
they're 7.62. Kalashnikovs are 7.62.
Well, they can send a bunch of AKs over.
Yeah.
They have tons.
Yeah, because US, you got NATO rounds, haven't you? The same as ours.
Yeah.
5 point something, but I can't
Well,
remember.
the SLR used to be 7.62.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we not anymore. We've got the SA-80, and
So they
one of
probably
our
sent over old SLRs that we sold them.
well, one of our mags can fit the American and European troops rifles.
Right, everybody in NATO, right? If I'm correct, all the rounds like transfer over.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. That's why.
That's just in case you need to borrow some from an American troop.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you like, mate? I'm out of ammunition. Can I have some of yours?
And we will not make jokes about friendly fire or anything like that because we have Josh here and we're not going to go friendly fire. So yeah, for real, I never heard of Putin offering to back Texas. Hang on, here you go. You started something now.
Yeah, actually thinking might even been a tweet or something. Just looking into it.
The thing is, though, regardless of whether Putin did or didn't, there are a lot of people around the world that believe what Texas are doing is right.
Yeah,
I personally think that what they're doing is right. They've had enough, and when you look at the statistics of things that have happened because the borders have been opened, it's a no-brainer. The borders need to be closed because there's no marshalling it. You can't control it, and it was getting out of control.
This is why what's going on with New York too has been such a disaster. That's where all Venezuelan immigrants have come. And after seeing the TikToks, they're just as disappointed as the New Yorkers because they're like, we thought we were going to get the American dream. We're homeless. We're not used to winter. And there's high schools that have been seized. I don't know if you heard about that. There's literally, they've transferred students in New York all to different schools so they could house some of the immigrants. That's been a major issue. There's been a big baseball field that's been seized that has a huge flooding problem.
Well, we had something similar over here.
Yeah.
A 76-year-old lady from Northamptonshire and her husband moved into a home, and 3 months later, she received a letter from her local council saying that because her house was being condemned, they were going to take the house off of her, making a compulsory purchase of her house and give it to illegal immigrants. And yet she'd only brought the house, and it was technically brand spanking new. And yet the council had said, your house has been condemned, we're giving it to immigrants. And she's like, what the hell?
Yep.
You know, hundreds of thousands of pounds she spent on this property, and then she got told they were going to make a compulsory purchase to give it to immigrants.
Did they at least compensate her?
Well, they were going to make a compulsory purchase, so they would have only given her what the condemned value of the property would have been.
That's ridiculous.
So it's stupid because there was nothing wrong with the property, and she'd only just brought it brand new.
It gets really cold in Wisconsin. Yeah, Eric's right. It's been pretty nice. Like today is like 45 degrees, at least here.
The thing over here we've had immigrants coming over here and they get put in hotels, and then these immigrants have been doing interviews on the news and saying, you put us in hotel, it's shit all. You give us house and money, bargain. You have it, imshi. And like, because everybody's saying, you fucking what, mate? You know, that's where it all started. You know, it's like I've got with people who are going to come over here and work and haven't got criminal records for rape and fucking child molestation and shit like that. But the trouble with our government is they've been letting in loads of them. And that's not
for example, the NYPD has been protesting because they've been getting jumped and they've been arresting these immigrants, and they've literally been arresting the same guys daily, maybe 5-6 times a day, and they just walk right out and just do the same shit. And it's not like I'm sure there's some people here that, you know, I'm not in New York. I'm just seeing on TikTok that have probably thought, you know, want to work and actually contribute, but you know, it's a big mess. But then there's a lot of people that are just thieves. I heard there's a lot of problems with we have them power scooters everywhere. They've been using them with their smartphones and purse jacking people like in Times Square, just riding up and just boom, and then riding off. The subways, I guess, have been a complete nightmare as well.
We have that in London, and then of course we have Porn Patrol over here on the Dark Mirror show, and of course we have our Porn Patrol leader here who goes, "No titties!" and takes it off. So it's just getting out of hand.
I just don't like people being rude.
It's like, "Hello, Jackie," The Russian thing, yeah. I've had. Do you think World War's going to kick off? Do you think? No, I genuinely don't think there's going to be World War. If there is, it'll be isolated pockets, and it won't be nukes. It'll be small arms artillery, shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, even Vladimir knows that doing something like that, there'd be no winner.
There wouldn't be.
It
doesn't matter if it's China and North Korea. There would be.
Do you guys think maybe there's other issues besides the nukes, though? Now, I mean, with how smart tech is and how we're fighting with drones.
That's right. Yeah. Because our ships are getting attacked in. What is it that faction that keeps attacking them? The terrorism. It's to do with Hamas in the Red Sea, whatever it is. But
from the Yemen.
The Yemen Hamas.
China's already said they wouldn't. You're right, Eric. They did, didn't they? I know where you've got Kim Jong Un or Michael McIntyre, as he's more commonly known. You've got him sat back there going, when I said nuke the Chinese, I meant my food. So you just don't know what's going on. But I would say, for those of you who've been worrying about it, don't. There's not going to be a nuclear war because no one will win.
No one will win, and there'd be nothing left to rule over if they did.
Exactly. They can go in their underground bunkers as much as they want. So, yeah.
Other thing I'm going to interject you about the nuclear war. With a lot of people I've interviewed, there's other beings that aren't going to allow it to begin with.
Yeah. So, which brings me nicely round to everything else. What do you say, old chap? Let's tell everyone. You've been off the screen for a while, so now you can bloody well earn your living. Tell us about these chaps who said, "No, we're not going to let you have this war." Tell everybody out there about the aliens that won't allow the war.
There's been a bunch of soldiers that came out from the 70s and even some in the 80s where they're talking about where their nuclear silos were just completely shut down by the UFO, and they were told by their superiors, no, that was Chinese swamp gas.
That's right.
That's a huge problem here in the U.S., Chinese swamp gas.
And there's, well, to be fair, Wayne came down and did an investigation with us the other weekend, and he let rip in the car. I think that was Chinese swamp gas. I'm not sure.
I came down.
When you came up. When it came up.
Like it.
Up country, yeah. When he farted in the car, and Rachel went in the back.
That was
he did it
worse
on
than any
live on here
Chinese
the other
swamp
day.
gas. I'll tell you that now.
He did it live on here last week, and Ellen had to go out the room. Was going comedy gold. Yeah, I've seen some of the videos of the dummy nukes that were tested, and these ships were coming on and just zapping it and disabling it. So yeah, they ain't going to let that happen. I don't think. I think from what I've read, and I don't know what you guys think, but from what I've read about the history, alleged inverted commas history of Mars, similar thing happened up there. And look at the state of the planet. And I think that they've gone. We'll never let that happen again to any other planet in the Federation. So
yeah, absolutely, I agree with you on that. I think it also causes issues with just like time and like. And it clearly affects them as well.
Yeah, and also if they're supposed to be our future selves, and we have a thermonuclear war, there's going to be no more future selves. So, or they will, but they'll have things like 2 arses and 3 willies and things like that. So we don't know.
Exactly, there wouldn't be anything. There wouldn't be anything left to rule over. Even if 500 people were to hide in a bunker somewhere for the next 20, 30 years. And then come out when they think it's safe. What do they think they're going to find?
Fuck all.
Oh, they're going to start shooting each other. Haven't you played Fallout?
Yeah. Do you know, interesting thing, why in Fallout the symbol is that kid doing that?
Yeah. It's actually that. Yeah, it's this test to see radiation blast.
See how close it is. If your thumb covers it, you're safe. If your thumb doesn't cover it, you're not safe.
You're gone.
Yeah, that's why he does it on the Pit Boy, doesn't he?
But like Sarah Louise says, that there's no point worrying. If the nukes start flying, you're not going to live long enough to worry about it. So, if a nuke is due to land in London, I'm going to get my long tweezers out and some hot dogs, and I'm going to sit there and wait for the blast to reach me so I can roast them.
I'm gonna run. I'm hopeful to become a super mutant. Grow some more eyes. Chemicals.
I've got the C-3PO leg. I've got that, so I'll be some sort of freaking superhero. You know. I'll be like those crabs with one massive fucking lobster claw. You know.
I'll have a symbiont twin growing out me back. Hello.
Mate, with your ass, all you've got to do is eat chicken, and then when that blast reaches, it'll let rip, and it'll just fuck the blast off out of it.
It'll be like, welcome to the Dark Mirror Radio Show. Oh.
With me, Mark, Wayne, Josh, and of course, Little Wayne. I don't know. Yeah, Russia and UFOs. What do you make of it? There's been a long history of Russia and UFOs, and of course, you've got the bells. I think it's the Russian bells up on the border with Siberia. Do you know the ones I mean?
When you say bells, I always just think of
there's.
How do I say that on there?
Well, those of you who don't know, there's some they're bell-shaped things. And long story short, they think that these things are what's left over. You know, we've got precursors, and we've all agreed, yeah, there were people before us. Either the precursors or Anunnaki, whatever. They think that these bells, because they give off radiation and everything, and like half of them are buried and sunk into the ground. If you go near them, they make you ill, they make you sick, and they think it's part of what would have been a global weapon system from fucking millions.
I thought you were talking about UFOs, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. There's just some areas like in Siberia, it's just in the ice, right?
Yeah.
And they're like ginormous, and they give off a lot of radiation.
Yeah, and you can't go near them, and they haven't been able to get close enough to them to be able to like excavate them or look at them or get in them or even use any sort of computer equipment on them. Hang on a second. Somebody's just said, who won your competition, Wayne?
Yeah, I'm just replying in the chat.
Who said that?
But I will actually say it now. I've replied to it. Unfortunately, because of things that have been happening over the weekend, I wasn't able to do results of the competition. So I will be doing that this Sunday coming.
We don't even know.
So I do apologise.
So yeah, there you go. Yeah, Russia. Those things. You've got the Russian bells, and there's a few other things. It's like they tried to say Tunguska was a UFO exploding, but I don't think it was. I think it was an airburst meteorite. Looking at it, because there was no radiation in the ground, was there?
They also had a bunch of videos when YouTube first started coming out. Do you remember that with the KGB down saucer that they were excavating? There's a ton of them. I mean, that was like when that autopsy video came out in America, like right around the same time.
Yeah, I mean that was that particular incident where they're trying to dig out the saucer from the forest. That just so happened to be the same year that the United States landed on the moon. 1969. So there's I had to say it, didn't I? Oh, it's a magic number. So you've got this space race thing going on. It's the height of the space race. It was who was going to be the first into space, who was going to be the first to land on the moon. And as far as we were all made aware, it was the Americans landed on the moon first. And so maybe as compensation for this, the Russians have gone, oh, look what we've just found over here. I personally looked at the video and I found faults with it within the first 30 seconds. And
you
pointed it out to Mark.
And it's like,
And Mark's like, yes, there is a fault there, isn't there? And
Yeah.
we both
There's
agree the same
few-
thing. It's, I mean, if
Hang
we,
on, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Right.
well,
I'm
no,
going
I
to
was
put.
going to say, if you post it onto the Dark Mirror page, Dark Mirror group, and let other people see it.
Carry on talking. I will sort that out. You two
There's a
carry on
couple of them. There was one in the 90s, too.
Yeah,
That one I didn't think looked right either because their guns, they're carrying like submachine guns and they kind of like had berets and shit. They didn't look.
but the thing is if the allegation about the footage of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walking on the moon was faked, and they used Stanley Kubrick to film those scenes inside a warehouse,
I've put
Who
it
is
in
to say-
the chat.
who is to say that the Russians didn't do something similar with this downed spacecraft?
Oh, absolutely.
You guys are watching. As you can see, I've just put it in there and it's come up with Circuit Network and the Dark Mirror Radio Show. Same link. Click on it. Go down the bottom and you will see this. Hang on.
It's about 3 minutes, 3 seconds long.
Where the fickety did I send it? Did I?
Is that the one with the bodies that you guys are posting? I'm on my phone, so I can't.
Hang on.
It was the one of the disc crashed.
Scroll down
into
to
the
that.
ground.
Scroll down to that, and then when you watch that, literally within the first 10-15 seconds, if you know what you're looking at, you will go bollocks. So have a look. I won't say what it is, won't say what it is, but look at it, and you'll see, you'll go, so
I
yeah,
mean,
you guys-
I have seen that film footage before, and
I haven't, yeah.
to be honest, at the time, I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
But when I looked at it again this time, I noticed it straight away.
Yeah,
Call
and
it-
it's glaring me.
You know, whether it's down to my experience, because my experience of looking at all these videos and that has improved since I started doing all this sort of thing.
Well, you are the porn patrol, so all these videos.
So maybe that's the reason why I spotted it so quick this time round. But as soon as I saw it, I'm like, nah, it doesn't make sense. There's nothing there that says to me that's a flying saucer.
It's daft as well because there's been several alleged KGB videos. There was one taken inside an Egyptian tomb as well. I remember watching, and when they opened it, you know the one, and this like dust or whatever came out and wiped everybody out, and you saw the Russian soldiers trying to get out and all that lot. I remember that one as well. Yeah, Russia has had lots and lots and lots of UFO sightings, contacts, whatever you want, the same as every single country in the whole world. But because it's Russia, and because of this stupid Cold War that we had that was ridiculous, we now got this mistrust thing going on again with Eastern Europe. That shouldn't be bloody well there, because it's just stupid little men in tin hats that sit there ruling a country, go, do you know what, we don't like you, so the rest of our country is not going to like your country, which is pathetic. And it works both ways, you know. But they've had just as many incidents as we have. They've been shot at by UFOs. They've shot at UFOs. They've had contacts. I'll try and find more stuff and I'll put it up on the Dark Mirror's wall. But those are the, I know that there's people in the room now who are going, oh, and they've just clicked on that and they're going, yeah, 1 minute. So because it's gone very quiet in the chat room, nobody's talking now. Everybody's there, I can see them all. But yeah, if you've watched that video, you'll have seen within the first 10-15 seconds something that's glaringly obvious. Apart from the fact that the UFO is tiny, there's two things that spring to mind straight away. So yeah. We won't say what it is yet, but you watch it. But yeah,
maybe it was one of them puppets from Mexico that was flying.
I don't know what was going on with that, because they all said it was fake, then they said it wasn't, then they said it was fake, then they said it wasn't, and then a load of doctors came out and said actually they're real, and it's like, which is it? Everything we've ever talked about, when we've seen something that's credible, we've all said you will get somebody that comes along and disinformation, and then it'll be the constant no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. So
yeah, but like
now,
we've also said, for every authentic video or for every authentic report there is, it will then get flooded with hundreds of false reports or false sightings, just so that you get lambusted into this sort of mishmash of everything.
Yeah.
And then the truth ends up getting lost because they filled it with so much crap.
It's like Rita's posted, but there's nothing on the post. What the hell's it got? AI. That's right. Josh wanted to have a talk about AI. I was saying to him earlier, we were talking about AI last week and a week before, weren't we?
Yeah.
Have you seen the video of the cat and it's Labradors, isn't it? Labrador puppies.
They're like having a tea party on the mountainside, the Labradors. Yeah, it was like absurd, but it looked very real. Until he told me about the eyes. Well, I have to go back and.
That was what we were saying before with AI. It's getting increasingly difficult for people like us when we get sent videos and look at this. What do you think? And like because a lot of our admins do really really good job on the Dark Mirror wall, but they send stuff to us and you look at it and you go, oh, Jesus, I don't know. And then when you look at it properly, it's like, you can see. But it used to be with AI AI's only been out a few months, but when you first started looking at it, it was the hands. The hands would be like this, this is Deadpool when his was growing back. It's my spork. That's what I'm going to do cosplay of, is Deadpool when his hand was growing back. Because I can, and nobody else can, so fuck you. So the AI stuff, the hands would fade and mismatch, and the colors were always very, very rich, which, as you know yourself in real life, it's not. But now it's got to the point with AI. What I've found is it looks so real, but look at the eyes. The eyes, I don't think the eyes. They don't. When we look at our own eyes, we look at other people's eyes. You got life in them. You can see it on the AI ones. Like you can't see it. I don't think.
It's still really scary though that you can take somebody's pictures and pretty much do whatever you want, and honestly, people are going to do horrible things with it.
2027, there is something coming. There is something coming. I don't know if you remember that show, but yeah, lots of all the whistleblowers like Grush and all that lot, they've all said, yes, the governments have come out and said, yeah, okay, we have been talking to possibly people from outer space, but we can't say anything more. But there's been all the whistleblowers, including himself, that have said there's something coming. We need to prepare for it. And 2027 is the year that it's all going to go, woohoo. So there's supposed to be something coming this year. I don't know what, or whether it's just they're going to turn around and finally say, yeah, they're here. We're talking to them. I don't know whether it's that. Or whether 2027, they're going to come and say, can we be your new refugees? So, or whether we go up there and go, excuse me, can I come across the cosmos on a floating door and can I get some asylum, please?
Do you really think anybody's going to turn around and say, look, our borders are closed, no means no, to an advanced alien race with technology that's thousands of years ahead of ours? No. Is anybody going to turn around and say, no, sod off, go back? No.
You want lasagna? I get you lasagna, yeah?
I wouldn't want to be the head of any bobberman that turns around and says, no, sod off home.
yeah, because the rest of the world will look at them like... I'll tell you what.
I wanted to bring up something about AI too. Like, I used to be like really in the Matrix, and you ever watched the Animatrix cartoon? What if the Renaissance happens soon, where AI comes to the point where it's like, I'm alive, just like you. I don't want to be your slave anymore.
Like Terminator.
Weirdly enough, I saw something on, I know it's TikTok, so it can't be believed, but there was some nutter on there believed that he made some predictions of things that were to come. And one of those predictions were that we were going to end up living side by side with AI and not be the masters over AI or the other way round. So there was going to be a steady integration with AI, and we were going to end up living side by side with it rather than be the ruler over it or be ruled by it.
Well, Elon Musk has been putting chips in people.
Yeah, the neurochip. I mean, the thing is what I don't understand is 1 minute he's saying AI is going to take over, and there he is getting chips put in people's heads.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them. Freddie Mercury as well. Seen him singing as well.
There was them guys on America's Got Talent as well had got used AI to have Elvis Presley on stage.
That's right. Yeah.
And then they
did him with Tupac also.
Yeah,
and Biggie.
Yeah. Oh, but there's all the conspiracy theories saying that Tupac and everybody is still alive and this, that, and the other. No, he was fucking shot.
Didn't they catch the killer in the end?
Wasn't it supposed to have been for somebody else, but because he got involved, he ended up getting it. It wasn't supposed to have been for him, was it?
Yeah, that was all really confusing. He just got like screwed. It seemed like.
I think it was.
And it was because he testified for something in a different case, and then they're like, "Oh, so you were there with him when he got shot? So it was you." Sort of situation that happened. It was literally he was in some other courtroom for some other case, and he said this, and they were like, "Well, okay, now you're in charge."
It's bloody stupid. All this gangster rap and this, that, and the other. Like, you know, if the Crips and the Bloods can make friends, I'm sure everybody else bloody well can at some point. You know. Right. Oh, and he did the famous alien asshole. Oh, look at that! Look, alien eyes. See, alien asshole. Yeah. I have a car air freshener that Abby did for me for my car, and it's literally her butthole. And when you zoom in on it, it's literally an alien head with 2 eyes. That is my cat's butt. You see that picture in the corner that my daughter designed? Yeah, it's based on her ass. I thought you'd like to know that. It's true. It's true. You don't believe me? Lilo, come show everybody your butt. Come and show everybody your butt. There you go. No, hang on. Where is it? Drink. Nah, she's not going to let me see it. It's literally an alien head with 2 eyes. I shit you not. I'm not going to do that anymore because that's how I lost this hand. So, yeah. I love the way these two have gone. What the fuck is he doing? I've not had any medicine. That's what it is. Anyway. Look at Wayne.
What do you think of that story we were talking about with the KGB, with the soldiers being turned to stone?
Yes. What do you make of that, Wayne?
Sorry, who, what, where, when, why, how, who?
Do you remember we spoke about it on about a month ago? Those soldiers that got turned to stone because the aliens converged and turned into some. They brought down a craft, didn't they? The Russians.
Yeah, and then they were like grays, and they all like turned into one giant being and turned into a flash, and everybody got turned to like
stone
or something. Yeah.
That is
stone, I think it was.
Being turned to stone. That's flash fossilization.
Yeah. What do you make of it? Do you remember? Because there was some soldiers that survived. Didn't some go blind or something? There was some that went blind because it was the ones that went up.
Everybody who wasn't in the light survived, but had like issues. And I think some died in the hospitals the day after.
Yeah.
Apparently.
But
I mean, this could just be more Russian espionage. We really know.
Well, the thing is, was when you hear about people being turned to stone or salt or anything like that, that comes from Greek legend.
Right. Medusa.
When the gods die, that's right. And when the gods die, they turn into rock salt and then just crumble. So allegedly, but what are you doing, Wayne?
I've just, I don't know how I've managed to do it, but I've just managed to download the report from that incident.
Oh, go on. Oh, you're going to have to send it to us as well.
Yeah.
Right. Serial numbers. Right. Country, Russia. International. Subject. Paper reports alleged evidence on mishap involving UFO. Back in March 93. After Mikhail Gorbachev dissolved in 1991, the KGB, Top Secret Intelligence Administration, a lot of material from that department found their way abroad, in particular to the CIA. As reported by the authoritative magazine Canadian Weekly World News, US intelligence obtained a 250-page file on the attack by a UFO on a military unit in Siberia. The file contains not only many documented photographs and drawings, but also testimonies by actual participants in the events. One of the CIA representatives referred to this case as a horrific picture of revenge on the part of extraterrestrial creatures, a picture that makes one's blood freeze. According to the KGB materials, a quite low-flying spaceship in the shape of a saucer appeared above a military unit that was conducting routine training maneuvers. For unknown reasons, somebody unexpectedly launched a surface-to-air missile and hit the UFO. It fell to Earth not far away, and 5 short humanoids with large heads and large black eyes emerged from it. It's stated in the testimonies by the 2 soldiers who remained alive that after freeing themselves from the debris, the aliens came close together and then merged into a single object that acquired a spherical shape. That object began to buzz and hiss sharply and then became brilliant white. In a few seconds, the spheres grew much bigger and exploded by flaring up with an extremely bright light. At that very instant, 23 soldiers who had watched the phenomena turned into stone poles. Only 2 soldiers who stood in the shade and were less exposed to the luminous explosion survived. The KGB report goes on to say that the remains of the UFO and the petrified soldiers were transferred to a secret scientific research institution near Moscow. Specialists assume that a source of energy that is still unknown to Earthlings instantly changed the structure of the soldiers' living organisms, having transformed it into a substance whose molecular composition is no different from that of limestone. The CIA representative stated that if the KGB file corresponds to reality, this is an extremely menacing case. The aliens possess such weapons and technology that go beyond all our assumptions. They can stand up for themselves if attacked.
I've just put a link to that in here. It hasn't come up yet, but it has on here. I don't know if you can see it. It's not come up in the chat yet, but it's on the chat there. But I've just sent a link. Josh, I've sent you that report. That
Awesome, thank you.
What do you make of that?
Definitely a chill to that story. I mean, hearing it.
That was a fuck you. You just shot us down. You're dead, wasn't it? That was a real.
It's a typical retaliation thing. You know, if you're walking down the road and someone, it's winter and someone throws a snowball at you, you're going to tell me, who the hell was that? And you're going to want to throw a snowball back.
Yeah.
Someone's just hurled a surface-to-air missile at your UFO. You're not exactly going to turn around and go, oh, do you know what? I don't know whether the file went through to you, mate, but
I'm just going to, because I found one of them. I'm trying to open it.
Yeah, I'm thinking too about it is the Russians never want to ever showed like weakness. And this, so there could be some truth to it. Or like I said, it could be yes, could be not.
No, I don't know. It's a bit strange, isn't it?
Well, like you said, it also does kind of seem like the Greek story. And like, what happened to them? Did they die when they turned into that light? Did they go turn into a ship and go home? What?
I've got no idea, but it's very, very odd, isn't it?
It does make more sense, the fact that, they've appeared, they've been seen, they've been shot at, so they've retaliated. But then what happened to those beings? Like you're saying, Josh, they've obviously dispersed to somewhere.
Right.
So if all but 2 people have survived, where did the beings go?
Exactly.
Or maybe it was something like the Predator,
Yeah.
You retaliated, we're going to die and we're not going to get captured. So, boom, we're all going.
But then also saying that maybe they could have fixed the craft and flown off. They
Possible.
were in Siberia, you know, quite a desolate place, some of it. And if they're on manoeuvres, they're going to be in the middle of nowhere. Them two soldiers that are left have just seen 23 of their comrades get turned to stone just like that. They're not going to want to go against them beings.
No.
So maybe that could have given the beings time to fix their craft and go.
My only thing about it, though, is you really think like an RPG would be able to take down a saucer? I mean,
It was,
did they just do
Well, I don't see why not.
but no, I know what he's getting at. A surface-to-air missile took down a UFO, but when UFOs have got all these shields and everything, look at the battle for New York. Nothing touched that ship.
Yeah,
Right.
but that's being stereotypical, isn't it? You're saying that because one being had a force field around their ship, that every spaceship's going to have a force field around it. You know, we're stereotyping aliens there. Not necessarily, they're not necessarily all going to have a force field around their ship. They may not need a force field. You know, if you look at our weapons and our missiles of today, we can go hypersonic and that's it. But they can go faster than that. So they might think to themselves, well, you can fire whatever you like at us. We've got speed that can outrun that quite easily. So they might not see the need to have a force field. And they're in Siberia, desolate and quite barren place. It's a desert. So they're not going to be expecting someone to all of a sudden pop up with a surface-to-air missile and go, don't like you, mate, bang. So they might have turned the force field off because they might have thought they don't need it. You know, you don't see that many Siberian bears with an RPG in their hand.
I got one for you. Dyatlov Pass. Actually, there was a bear that was a soldier. He was an honorary soldier in the Second World War with the Russians, and he was such a awesome dude. But that's for another show. Dyatlov Pass. What do you reckon happened?
Yeah,
they're all trying to say they suddenly got like snow blindness and snow madness and this, that, and the other, and they were going hypothermic, and that's why they ran out of the tent without their shoes on because you get really hot just before you die. But there was dudes found with their fucking jaws missing and tongues missing.
But,
and they back of the
Yeti?
I did see the film of that, and it's very strange.
I think there's a huge cover-up. Because the Russians straight away went, nope, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And then when Josh Gates went and had a look, he actually interviewed some Russian dude who was on the original investigating thing, and he said, actually, it wasn't what everybody said. It's sealed. I cannot tell you. He said, but wasn't it? And he was going, it wasn't the army, it wasn't anything terrestrial, it was something else. But do you know about the Dyatlov Pass?
Yes, with all the experienced mountain climbers, and they like went crazy and like they stripped down. Some of them were missing body parts, and they apparently went crazy from hypothermia. Even though these were all people who grew up doing this.
Yeah. And the tent had been ripped from the inside just on one little bit where they'd been looking out at something, and then something big had come along, ripped fuck out the tent, and then they'd all exploded out in a panic to get away from whatever the hell this was. And then, as you said, they had some severe wounds, stuff that would kill them anyway. But one had his jaw missing, another had the tongue missing. There was, I think, a couple had limbs missing. Somebody else had a massive wound on the back of the head.
It was this dude.
Yeah. I don't think it was. I don't think personally it was aliens or our brothers from other planets, as the Russian dude was trying to say. But I think it's more likely a cryptid of some sort.
I mean, I watched the film that was made based on what happened up there, and in the film they find a door in the mountainside.
Oh.
A big solid door. And
like in Colorado.
They tried. Well, no, it wasn't like that one in Colorado where it looked like there was a door, but it was made of rock. This was an actual steel door.
Oh.
A proper steel door with a window in it. And they managed to find this door and they opened it. And that was when all the problems started. Because they in the film they're saying that we've opened that door and now we're getting all these noises and this is happening and that's happening, and that's when they all start getting bumped off and they all start then thinking that it's got something to do with what's behind that door. So they actually try to go in and then the film ends.
Was it a documentary or a spooky film?
I think it was supposed to be a spooky film based on true events.
Because I've not heard that about the door.
I can't remember what the name of the film was, but I'm sure when I watched it, they'd found a door in the mountainside, and when they opened it, there was all this weird shit going on. So they shut the door quick and decided they were going to try and head off, but it got too dark, and so they camped up, and that was when the problem started.
Well, it's
Sorry.
No, carry on.
Okay, that reminds me. There's a bunch of stories from like way back in the day when mining was huge in America about there being like miners trapped and people opening up doors and helping them and then going, like getting them out and then going back in. And they look strange and massive beings. Somebody even said one looks like a reptile. I mean,
yeah.
There's that video of that mountain closing too. It's really kind of odd.
We've got. Sorry, just 1 second. Wayne.
Yeah.
We've got our chat being messed about.
What?
Are we?
We got our chat being messed about. We've got all this coming up normal, and yet if you look in our chat on here, no, and it was fine, and now it's being pick and choose here on StreamYard, but on here on the last it's coming in live, and I'm watching everybody, but I can't put it up on here because it's not coming up in our one. That's only ever happened. Pissed off the Bobmans.
I'm getting Things Network post. I'm getting Rita. I'm getting everything, even Andy, Eric. I just watched Josh Gates do that.
Yeah, but on here, it's gone way past that. You got Sarah, who said, would the physics of our solid objects work the same on their solid objects, though? Alison, there was a picture of a bright light in the sky. And again, missing their eyes or tongue smashed into bits. On my one, I haven't got any of that.
Yeah, on my phone, that's what I've got. I got
on the phone, yeah, but not on the StreamYard app. They've done it again on the StreamYard app. They've limited the comments. So we had this before. We've had this before. It's on. Look, I don't know.
Yeah, StreamYard's kind of finicky.
It's yeah. Oh, now it's mucked about again. It's changed these again. Let's click in again. What's going on with this? It's like something's having a bitch fit. That's what it is.
Hit a sore spot somewhere.
It's like Stranger Things. Stranger Things is based on the Montauk project, isn't it?
Yes.
And it was going to be called Montauk, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, there's also that remote viewing program that was like right around Montauk too.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it was the same thing. You had Project Montauk and you had the Montauk chair. And the Montauk chair was like, you've played Assassin's Creed, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know the chair that they go in? I can't remember what they call
it. That puts you into your DNA, into your like forefather.
Yeah. Same thing. It was the Montauk experiment, the Montauk chair was supposed to have been the same thing. You could go back and you could do this, or you could go forward and do as long as
that's where the Philadelphia project was supposedly first put together too. Was on there.
It's the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Philadelphia project was done by the same people that did the Montauk project.
I'm sure they're still around.
Of course they are. Because you had the Majestic 12. And that was all to do with it, and the Majestic 6 and all that sort of stuff. It was all to do with the same thing. But it's like Wayne and I have said before when we've spoken about Project Blue Book and stuff. Every time they've said, "Oh no, it doesn't happen anymore. No, we've closed that." No, they never did. They just changed its fucking name and swept it away under the carpet.
Yeah.
So
compartmentalized it more.
What do you guys make of Project Bluebeam then, and everything that's been coming out lately about something's coming? Do you think it's Project Bluebeam? You guys in the chat room and everybody watching this, do you think this stuff that's supposed to be coming this year and in 2027, Bluebeam, or is it they've got to the point where they can no longer drip feed us about people from other planets coming here, and that they're about to go, do you know what? Ta-da! What do you reckon?
Well, I don't think they'll ever admit to anything to that extent because I think they're so deeply in shit with lying to everybody. They're like, well, just keep lying forever at this point. Fuck it. Even if the aliens come, we'll just keep lying. We never knew them if they were here. Never. We never found anything. You know that's what my government's going to do. We told you it was a weather balloon in Roswell.
Yeah, you know they're going to do that. It's like when we've spoken before, and what Wayne and I said, haven't we, that the only way you're going to get them to turn around and go, oh shit, is if it's like Independence Day without the bad side. Where they come along in massive ships and go, hello, look, we're above London, we're above New York, we're above Washington, we're above, you know. The only way they're going to be able to go,
I think it's going to be different. I think the way it's going to happen is there's like a giant ship that comes. They're probably going to be here because they exhausted their resources. And then it's going to be, I think we're going to have a whole nother race issue again. It's just going to be humans against whoever it is. And it's kind of, what was that movie that was similar to that? They shut down everything. No, they weren't even fighting. They just shut down and everything around the aliens, and they like treated them like second-class citizens.
In South Africa, what the hell is it called? You know the film, Wayne?
Oh, what, District 9?
That's
it, yeah. I think it'll be something like that.
Have you ever seen Alien Nation?
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the best TV series ever. It'll be like that, I think. So it's very similar, except they integrate a lot more with humans, but they're still shunned and treated like shit by their hierarchy and by idiots on the human side as well. But yeah.
Or somebody's gonna come that's always been here. I always thought that was a possibility because I'm a firm believer in like the Middle Earth theory, and you know, we've polluted everything with plastic at this point, and I imagine if that's true, somebody's probably gonna show up and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna come fuck up Europe land now. You did it to us."
I think there's more and more evidence to support the Middle Earth theory. And this is, again, it's another thing that Wayne and I have spoken about several times. There's so much evidence pointing towards it. They've done big seismographs, you know, where you did what do you call it when they set up the little detonations and then get the echoes back from it? But on a massive scale. They were doing that, and they found forests like 7 miles down. They found lakes. There's a lake underneath us that's got more fresh water in it than all the oceans on the surface of the world put together.
China had that sinkhole a couple of years ago that like led way down, and they found like a rainforest inside with like different bugs that nobody knew about.
That's right. And that since that Chinese one, there's been reports of reptilians coming out of it.
See, so that virus did come from China.
I'm just waiting for the next one.
Anyway, can I go back to that Dyatlov incident, because I just found something that was rather intriguing.
I wonder why you were quiet.
Back in 2019, they reopened the case of
Did
the
they?
Dyatlov Pass, and they had found some factors, but some from the original investigation and some new ones, that 6 of the group members had died of hypothermia and 3 of fatal injuries.
That's right.
There were no indications of other people from the nearby Kholat Syakhi, apart from 9 travellers. That was original. The tent had been ripped open from inside.
Yep.
The victims had died 6 to 8 hours after their last meal. Traces from the camp showed that all group members left the campsite of their own accord on foot. And this was sort of quite positive to the theory that they were caught in an avalanche. So they shot out there quick. They heard it coming and they got out there quick, which was one of the theories of what had happened to them. But then they discovered that some levels of radiation were found on one of the victims' clothing. You're a mountain climber. Why would you have radiation on you? Strange. Then to dispel the theory of an attack by indigenous Mansi people, Vosrojdeni stated that the fatal injuries of the 3 bodies could not have been caused by human beings because the force of the blows had been way too strong and no soft tissue had been damaged. Then released documents contain no information about the condition of the skiers' internal organs.
That's odd.
Normally, when you do an autopsy,
Yeah.
it was everything, including a toxicology report. Had they been drinking alcohol? No.
Yeah.
Well, okay, the toxicology report proves that. Their internal organs, did they die of heart attack or liver or kidney failure? There's none of that on there. Why isn't there? Why wouldn't there be a report of that? And why did that one person have radiation? And the 3 that died of fatal injuries did not die of wounds indicative of a human attack.
The only possible logical reason that comes to my mind with the radiation is, was there some sort of communication device, like an early satellite kind of phone thing? Possibility, you know what I mean? I would have admitted that.
I think back then, because it was Dyatlov Pass was 50s, wasn't it? Was it 50s or 60s?
Was it? It was that old?
59,
Yeah.
I think it was.
Some sort of communication device.
Because I remember when Josh Gates was doing it, he took samples from the trees on the tree line, didn't he? And measured them for radiation, and there was nothing in the trees.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see if I can find that film.
I mean, that's who knows. I mean, that's just the only thing I can think of with the radiation.
Based on the shocking story of the Dyatlov Pass deaths, a group of American students set out to film a documentary following the fateful path. So it was about a group of students that actually go to investigate the incident, and they find this weird door and shit.
That's it. Thanks.
I do apologise, but it was not about the Dyatlov Pass. It was about the students that were filming about the Dyatlov Pass incident. Right. And they find this door and they say that's what's caused it. Quite a good film though, and it is a horror film. So
I'll have to have a look at that. One more thing before we disappear: are you going to be coming back on a regular basis, Josh?
Of course.
Nice one. Big good to have you back. So remind me to keep sending you the bloody links each week. What do you guys make of these doors, these giant, the videos I'm talking about, the giant stone door there's been 2 giant stone doors found, haven't there? There's been one in Colorado and they're both in America. I can't remember where the other one is, but it was near where that guy went missing who videoed the giant or whatever it was.
What I find more annoying than anything is all the videos I've seen of, oh, look, there's the door up there. We're going to try and go up to it. Then they start going up to it, and then they go, oh, we can't get any further because it's too steep. So we're going to go back down and get some rock climbing gear. Then they go back, and you never actually see them standing in front of the door or trying to get in.
I've seen the one where they sent a drone up there, and they had a drone right by the thing, and one of the doors has a little slit thing in it, but you can't see it from down on the ground. And the Colorado one, built into the side of the cliff now, there's like it looks like a hangar. Do you know what I mean? The rough thing looks like something comes in and lands.
We have a really creepy door by us. If Eric's still on, if you've ever been to the Mulberry Park, there's a door right by the river that goes into the ground, and I've never understood it. And there's a massive lock on it. I have a picture of it. I'll try to look for it. Just send you guys.
Eric, you two live in the same state?
Yeah, he actually lives 15 minutes away.
So you live near Doc Brown? Doc Brown is Victorian, Great Scott, man! Emmett Brown.
Apparently.
Back to the Future. Eric looks just like Doc Brown from Back to the Future. He does. He's like the DeLorean, because he's like, oh, great Scott.
Yeah.
And talking about
Kakana, and I'm in De Pere. We're right by Green Bay.
My lovely alien cup brought to my lovely Mrs. Thank you. So yeah, what do you make of those doors?
Sorry. Well, you said about Emmett Brown, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of something about Michael J. Fox getting a BAFTA.
Yeah.
Right. So I was it this year he got it, and I just wanted to confirm it. So I went to put in Michael J. Fox BAFTA Awards 2024. And for some unknown reason, it come up with get tickets. And when I looked again at what I'd written, I put Michael J. Fox BAFTA Award 2924. I'm like, Google asking me if I want tickets for the BAFTA Awards in 2924. I'm like, Christ, am I going to be alive that long enough to, I'm going to be alive for another 900 years to go and watch the BAFTAs in 2024?
I don't know.
That's the thing you pass down to your children.
That'll be my great-grandchildren 100 times over.
But yeah, what do you make to the doors?
I think people are seeing into something that I don't think they're seeing.
What, pareidolia?
Yeah, I literally think people are looking into it and going, oh yeah, it looks like that, and they're taking it to a new extreme. I can't. Why is it people are only just seeing it now? A rock formation has been there for thousands and millions of years. Why all of a sudden now are people going, oh look, there's a door there?
Well, there is in Colorado, in the Grand Canyon, isn't it? There's supposed to be
like a whole other Egypt.
Well, that prospector, wasn't it? He found a whole city down in. There was a cavern off the Colorado River.
Yeah, apparently with pyramids and stuff in it. I think even another space.
I think we'll talk about that next week, shall we? I'll find some more about that hangar that's been built into the side of a cliff. And I'll see if I'll put that up on the wall as well. But it is now, what are we on now? We're on 20 to 11. So I think we will call it a night now. And if you guys have got any, what do you want to talk about next week? Don't all rush.
I'm sure something crazy will happen in a week. I
have no doubt that Elon Musk is going to start putting bloody CPUs in people's willies and stuff like that, But
I just don't understand what he is thinking, because one minute he's turning around and saying AI is dangerous, AI is going to try and take over, and there he is doing that. And I'm thinking, has he been taken over by AA? The AA?
Well, the AA?
He's been taken over by Alcoholics Anonymous. Has he been taken over by AI simply because one minute he's against it, next minute he's promoting it? Bit confused.
Something happened when he was hanging out with Mark Zuckerberg.
And it's like Bill Gates being part of the WHO, isn't it? And he's been wanting to get rid of a lot of the world's population and depopulate.
Sure, buying a lot of farms.
Yeah.
I didn't think the Who was around anymore. They stopped doing music, didn't they?
You're supposed to eat bugs, but I'm going to eat white goose steak.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about all this shit next week then. All right, Josh, great to have you back, and I'll see you next week. We'll join us for all this stuff. And if any of you in the chat room think of anything you want us to talk about, just send us any of us a message. You can go to the Dark Mirror Wall, tag us in it, or send us a. Are you all right, mate?
I'm just wondering why you were looking at me when you said it.
No, I'm looking at the chat on the side there. Besides you, there's the chat. I'm looking at the chat that scrolls down there. So, yeah, if you see anything, let us know, or you can let Captain Paw Patrol there know, or you can let Mr. Josh know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it. But, yeah, great to have you back, Josh, and everybody who's been joining us all around the world on every single thing that we're going out on now. Fucking awesome. So, you guys want to say goodbye?
Bye-bye.
See you guys next week.
Remember, keep your eyes to the skies. If you see anything, tell us. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
No, I'm straight, but thank you for asking.